and welcome to What's Next Wall Street. I am Georgia Alfredas.
And I'm Dave Mathews, and this is a show about stocks, crypto, and the new decentralized financial Web3 world around us.
Hey, I've got details on all the hot new trending products that everybody's talking about using and also investing in. And today, what did I say I was talking about? Oh, I'm going to show you. I forgot what I was talking about. I'm going to show you how to invest like a celeb.
Nice.
Don't be looking at me like I'm short. He was like,
No, I'm looking at your little Naomi on your shirt there.
Oh,
cute.
yeah, she's a celeb.
Yeah, see? Say, I'm going to talk to you about deleting private information about you online, brought to you by Google, who helps find information about you online, as well as a couple others who collect this data to boot.
Great. We've got Greg Krause, lead instructor at OptionsPlayers.com, is our expert. Greg charts a lot of these companies, and those chart indicators can show where a particular stock is headed so that it's easier to target investment potential. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because as Greg has a beer, what kind of beer is he drinking?
Negro Modelo.
Yes, so Greg combines technical analysis with fundamental knowledge, and I mean, he's over here just
Getting ready for the show.
Yes.
Hey, our goal is to provide you a little saucy education,
Yes.
information, and tips to help you become a more informed trader with a tailored trade plan so that you can stay up to speed with what's next on Wall Street and keep stacking some gains.
Yes, you can email us at OptionsPlayers.com or hit us up on social media, What's Next Wall Street, with your questions. We can also direct you to instructors and experts over at OptionsPlayers.com. What they do is dig into trading fundamentals.
You can watch this episode on the OptionsPlayers.com YouTube channel or listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your damn podcast.
Yeah, so listen, whether you're listening to the damn podcast or you're watching the damn podcast on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that alert button so that you always know what's next on Wall Street. And if you like it, give us 5 stars.
You sounded like your dad.
I did? Aww.
So it'll soon be easier for some of you to track your health heart at home.
Okay.
After getting FDA approval, Fitbit has plans to do just that. The technology will continually monitor for AFib, which is a form of irregular heart rhythm. It affects about 33 million people, and those who have it are more at risk of having a stroke. Sensors can detect the volumetric changes from a user's wrist, even when asleep, and alert if there are any signs of AFib.
Okay, congratulations, Fitbit, but Apple's had that feature for a while. Is it too little too late for Fitbit, Greg? You know, my father-in-law had an Apple Watch on, and he had an AFib, right? And his doctor was like, this is just as good as what I'm going to give you to go home with, the Apple Watch. So do people even, I'm not trying to be like an Apple elitist, but do people still even use Fitbit?
Yeah, I mean, so first off, Fitbit has done this for a while. It just wasn't as advanced as Apple's and some of the health ones. I think it really comes down to is Fitbit cost probably, I don't know, what is a new one? Because you got to get the good one, right?
Yes.
I have it. I just don't wear it. But my wife wears hers all the time.
Okay. So
I don't know what it costs. And then with service, they're like $500 now. I don't
Wow.
know.
No.
Wow.
Fitbits are $200 at that.
That
Okay.
is
Look it up.
expensive.
Yeah. Let's
You
just
think that press release would have the pricing in it?
Yeah, I'm just assuming that Fitbit is nowhere near that cost. So now when you're talking about you're at the doctor, is the doctor going to say, hey, do you have an Apple Watch? No. Okay. Do you own an Apple Watch? Those individuals that are a little bit up in age might not be able to understand what an Apple Watch is. It's probably a little bit easier to get that Fitbit thing to stick on it. Now, I saw this question, so I should have probably looked at the prices, but when I really looked into it, it's just the algorithm that they were using. Fitbit's been doing this. They did one of the largest studies ever for heart health to actually get this algorithm out there. So essentially, it's going to be the newest, the best thing right now.
Oh, wow.
Or supposedly. But really, it's probably the cost is down. That's going to help. So as an insurance might cover to buy a $130 Fitbit, while they might not cover a $300 Apple Watch. You know, maybe that's an issue. But one thing I saw when I looked at the study and compared them was Apple only checks there's an actual app that you download that uses its little thing. But Apple checks it like every 10 minutes. Okay.
You could totally have a heart attack in 10 minutes.
Okay, exactly. So it checks it like every 10 minutes for abnormalities. You might be able to speed that up, but I think it's only 10 minutes because the battery will just die. while Fitbit runs 24/7 continuously.
Ah.
I think that is going to be where they
Wow.
advance. That doesn't mean Apple can't come in and say, hey, we could do that too. It's probably the batter, because the Apple Watch is basically, you could have probably went to the moon in Apollo 11 on the Apple Watch. It's got so much processing power.
Yeah, and the Fitbit is
Yeah.
a $199 now. It's got a $100
Yeah.
off coupon. So
Okay.
Yeah.
$200
$200. All
But
right.
most people that already have an Apple Watch, that's great. If you just need a watch for your heart, probably the Fitbit.
Okay.
But the thing also comes is, where's Fitbit at? Where's its evaluation at? It's
Well,
not Apple.
Fitbit also does blood oxygen level, which Apple is rumored to be doing that with the next Apple
Wow.
Watch. So if you get blood oxygen level, then you can find out if you got COVID before you know you have COVID, maybe.
Oh, this is amazing. Okay, well then I'm going to stop being a little Apple elitist. Might need to give me a little Fitbit. More good news for EV fans, that is, electric vehicles. And it's good news for Motor City and the automotive capital of Canada, too. One of the world's largest automakers is joining a partnership to build an electric vehicle battery manufacturing facility near Detroit. Now, the venture between Stellantis and LG Energy Solution will result in an investment worth just over $4 billion in Windsor, Ontario. Construction is going to start later this year. The facility is scheduled to be up and running early in 2024.
Yeah, that's Jeep's parent company, for those of you
I had no
supporting
idea,
at home.
and I've had like 3 Jeeps.
Well, they just renamed recently. Hey, in other news, Starbucks interim CEO Howard Schultz, which also was the founder of Starbucks, says employees will be getting new pay raises and benefits, but not at stores that are unionizing.
Nah,
Take
nanny
that,
boo-boo.
unions.
That's basically what he's saying.
However, the stores that are unionizing will see hourly wage boosted to an average of $17.
Okay, that's really good.
Something
Is it?
announced
I
in
mean, I think
October.
it's great.
But Schultz says he doesn't have the power to offer new incentives at union stores because we can't act unilaterally. The Starbucks Workers Union called Schultz out on Twitter, posting, "That's not how labor law works, y'all, and Starbucks knows it.
And they said, and Starbucks, you can suck it, Starbucks. I don't know, I mean, just,
They're taking our jobs."
what are you doing here?
Today's pro tip is brought to you by George's dad because he's real angry, and OptionsPlayers.com.
Just Southern, not angry.
And nobody's got better pro tips than our very own lead instructor, Greg Krause.
Yes.
One of the best ways to get tips is to see the trading system unfold in real time, which is exactly what happens with Greg's live stream trading sessions.
Yes.
Greg, can you tell us how that smooth stream is going?
All right, so the Greg's Love Stream, which is a joke.
That's what it sounded like, right?
Someone auto-correct it and sent the CEO an email about it, and it got
Love versus
auto-corrected.
love. I get it.
So it was like Greg's Love Stream. So of
That's
course,
funny.
when I got forwarded that email,
Your wife was
'cause-
like, what the hell is
no,
going
she
on
didn't see
here?
it. But then I was like, oh, that's definitely what I'm going to call it now. so on the little live stream, we use what I do teach. It's for scalping. It's not the main thing that I do, but it's something that I've done for a while. I think for a tip, it's it's patience. I think a lot of people, they get in there and they got to trade, and they're forced to trade. Even now that I have these people watching me and they're watching me do it, sometimes I feel that I might be forcing a few trades because
you want to show 'em.
Yeah, because I have all these people watching me. And I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't trade this. And then so now I'm like out there, I'm like, I shouldn't trade this. And then I tell them, hey, tell me not to trade it. So really, I shouldn't
that's
be
cool.
trading some of
That's
these. I think we did pretty good. I won about 25 out of 25 scalps. And then
I think
then I
that's
started
kind of
forcing
amazing.
some because there weren't any setups, and we lost a few there, but we're still doing well. We're winning a lot more than we're losing. And it's just patience. If you're scalping or you're doing anything, the best thing is look at it as being a hunter. I know I'm talking to George's dad now. We're sitting in the deer stand waiting for the setup or the deer to come to us. We're not running around trying to run down deer, okay? Just sit there, wait for whatever system you're using or wait whatever to come to you, and then when it sets up, then you pull the trigger. Don't go, oh, it's almost to the trigger. I'm going to buy it because I'm bored. And that's when the gambling comes in, and it gets me. And I have an algorithm to run, so I don't even have to look at it. But when I'm doing it manually, it still even gets me. I'm like, oh, I'm so bored. Yeah, I got money. What's a few $1,000s? Let's click the button. But you shouldn't be doing that unless if you do, you probably have a gambling problem, and then you need to go to what is
Gamble,
it?
There's another-
Not AA, but GA.
GA.
I don't know.
There's
Let's just call
another
it that.
website for you for that. That's not OptionsPlayers.com.
Absolutely. All right, Dave, this is my favorite part of the show. It's where we get to hear from you. You can always hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street. Comment on YouTube. So listen, on our YouTube page at what'snextwallstreet.com, we always write back. Or, of course, you can email us at www.optionsplayers.com. So this first email comes from David Finelli from OptionsPlayers.com, who writes, if the Fed sells down assets as planned, what does that translate into as a percentage or as points to fair value levels of the S&P 500? Another 10% down, more or less? What do you say, Greg?
I'd say there's not a real answer to that.
Really?
And what I mean is they own a certain amount of bonds, a certain amount of whatever. Well, it could go down 100% or it could go down 1%. It's really when they sell it, where do people want to buy at? And that is a human behavior question. I can't give you that answer. I can look at historical quantitative easing is what we would call it, but we really haven't seen it in this style with so many retail investors. That's new. That's something that's came with Web 2.0, right? So with all these brokers out there, everybody now is a stock trading guru, and they're out there and they're just like, I'm going to make money, and they just click it because the market's going up and it's overvalued. So we don't really know. They can sell, and guess what? Their pocketbooks might not be as fat. All right. So I want you to look at one thing. We have inflation.
Right.
That does the only thing that beats inflation is the stock market over time. Historically, it outperforms everything. Okay. But go back to 2020 before COVID. Look at whatever that.
Hold on, what?
2019.
2020
Was it
February was
Wow.
before. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, we lost
Before
2 years
that-
of our lives.
Oh my
Has it been that
gosh.
long?
All right, so let's go back and look where the stock market was and say January 2020. Someone in here can look up that price. It's probably
Okay,
like 330
okay.
for S&P 500. And now look at where it's now. It's probably up near 50%. So in 2 years, with all the problems, all the supply and demand issues, the overall market's gone up 50%, or it's probably closer to 40, but let's just say 50 for the dramatic
2
effect.
years,
It's
yeah.
because of
2
those
years.
stimmies, those stimmy checks coming
Exactly.
out.
Nobody's using those for that. Come on, really?
No, low, and you know what it is. It's called cash flow. Anybody that's in finance understands what cash flow it is, discounted cash flow. If you're giving someone free money, basically you're just giving
$2,000 or a little more.
Well, not just that. That does help economics on the demand curve. You give a population extra money, they have extra disposable income.
We're
Therefore,
gonna
you can
spend
charge
it.
more. Therefore, you can make more money.
Okay.
But what I'm talking about is the businesses. Apple can raise money cheaper than the United States government can in some cases, right? Because their bonds are so cheap. So their cost of capital went from probably about 8-9% to 6%. So now they just make an extra 2 or 3%. That doesn't sound like a lot, but the problem is Apple sells, I don't know, hundreds of billions of dollars, so it turns into $10 billion extra.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what you do. And now you calculate that over a period of time, which is what you would do. I'm not going to be a complete geek and show you the math, but yes, cash flow is what's affecting that with all that adjustment. Now, it doesn't deserve that greatness, so I don't even remember what the question is.
That's fine. You know what?
It might be the beer. I don't know. Like the fourth one.
But yeah,
Hey, it is your dad.
No, oh my gosh.
but yeah, it is what it is.
Sorry for that.
So true, so true.
Hey, this email is from Beth P. from Alexandria, Virginia, who asks, when Apple buys back shares, are they buying like we do, or is it done differently? And what happens to those shares? So Apple's,
a good
they
question.
have so much cash on their balance sheet that they brought back, what, trillions of shares?
All right, so how does a corporation buy back shares?
Good question.
That is an easy answer. I'll remember that question.
Okay.
All right, there's 2 ways you can buy shares. It doesn't matter if you're, I guess, it's a tender offer. That means they go, hey, you're a shareholder, and I say, I want to buy all your shares at this price. Done. Contract, buy, tender offer.
That's what Elon did with Twitter.
Yes, he offered a tender offer to buy everyone's, and the board accepted. Okay. The other way to do it is the open market. So now, are they doing it like us? Are they getting on an E-Trade app in the finance office? No, they have the finance office. They have their own little setup. They can buy and do whatever they need to. Right? They do that. Now, with that, if you really want to nerd out on it. The SEC has actually came up with, or is proposing new regulations, and actually came up with new regulations last year. It'd be in Section 12 of that, for guidelines for buybacks. So they have to tell you exactly how many they buy back every month and things like that. Yeah.
Ahead of time.
So now there's new regulations like, hey, you can't just buy back whenever you want to. You have to say, I'm going to buy back in a certain amount of period of time.
It's a structured program.
Yes.
And
so,
Elon got in trouble for doing that. He said before he made he was buying large amounts of stocks before he made the purchase offer.
So now it's, where do you do it? So Apple might have to give like a quarterly notice. Hey, if we drop to this EPS or this, we want to purchase it back. Now, what that comes out of it, there's a lot of articles out there on what the SEC is proposing, but it's going to be pro corporation anyways, because it's SEC. It's a government program where they hired individuals that basically worked for all the banks and all the hedge funds and all Wall Street, and then put them in government positions. So of course you basically hired the fox to watch the hens. I mean, so it's not going to affect the big business anyways. All right.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's good.
Well, if you've got a question, we can probably answer it, or we can find somebody else, Greg, who can. So hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street in the comments section or on our YouTube page, or you can email us at www.optionsplayers.com with your questions.
Hey, Google, Georgia, did you Google me?
What?
Did you Google me?
Huh?
Yeah. Just go ahead and Google me.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Well, those days may be numbered, thanks to the site's ability to remove data that's personal about you. So Google has created a tool which allows you to remove personal information online, like phone numbers, social security numbers. I hope you don't have that out there.
Wait, why would
or your
I
home
hope
address.
not? And my address. I don't want my address on.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, this could be used for creating a credit card in your name. So there's a real threat to your own personal bits of information there.
Carry on.
So
I'll see if I'm.
what you need to do is head to the Google support page at support.google.com and type request to remove your personal information on Google. Then click through a whole set of questions about what type of information is being posted about you, and if you've contacted the webmaster about it or not, and just what this information is. Now, this is what I'd call the nuclear option, and it's going to be a way to keep Google from Googling it. But it won't in every case take the data down. That is, if the website owner is unscrupulous. So here's what I like to do. Google's put into place another web form to remove data from the search history on you that may come from another party. Now, there are also other data collectors that enable the removal too, which may be tricky considering some are questionable. So let's dig into this.
Okay.
First, you need to find the stuff that Google has on you. And if it's through another website, you'll need to contact that webmaster to get it removed. Sometimes this is as simple as emailing webmaster at the domain you have an issue with. But generally, there are opt-out forms that can be as simple as sitename.com/opt-out. For example, Spokeo, it's a data sales site that has that same naming conviction. Heading to spokeo.com/OPTOUT, where they post a page to you where you can provide an email address and the URL that they've collected on you. So I did this, they send me a confirmation back, but you don't want to lose your real email on that because remember, these guys are data aggregators. So I'd use a burner email address, like a 5-minute temporary one. Yeah, there's all kinds of email address. You can get an email address for like 2 minutes. Because look, these guys, Georgia, they're in the data collection business. So if you email them, they're like, oh, thank you for giving me your georgia.foy@gmail to put
Thank you for giving my government name too. I appreciate it.
Right? So,
oh my gosh.
Once you're off their web for that third-party site like Spokeo,
all right.
You need to then get Google to drop it from their cache, and that's the page for searching. So they have a search term you can put in Google called remove outdated content from search. They made this so easy. And now it's visible once you log on via your Gmail account and create a new request. Then you can paste the URL on Google that you want to have deleted in there. Now they're then going to queue this up for their crawler and they'll remove it at their next processing batch. And look, it's not going to be an instant for both of these to fall off and disappear from the web, but it's better than having your digital ghost linger on forever. And data does live forever. So what do you do in the future? Well, you can use numbers for your phone like Google Voice that don't ring your own phone when you sign up for reward programs or burner email addresses.
Wow.
Like when you use one-time orders from rogue websites.
Okay.
You know, for this reason of spam and limited footprint online, I just stick with eBay. If it's a weird site, I'll use PayPal checkout on those rogue sites. And I'll limit myself mostly to Amazon shopping online, really because they've got my credit card. Now, sure, it's making the fat cats fatter, but at least I don't need to get my name on yet another mailing list.
Okay, so you have a burner email address. Do you have a burner phone?
Oh, I ain't got
Do I
one
need
of
to
them.
know more
Just
about
burner
you?
Sims. What up?
Okay.
Stacking games.
Okay, so my favorite subject, one of them, high-profile celebs from media and entertainment are investing in clean energy startup Palmetto. That list reportedly includes LeBron, Billie Eilish, Drake, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Palmetto wants to push for the adoption of renewable energy for residential customers, especially in the form of solar power. Residential solar use is reportedly a $100 billion market. I know your dad has it, right? Your dad has solar on his roof. Right? Oh, never mind. That's another Dave Mathews, the singer. The undisclosed street investment hopes to help Palmetto convert homeowners to solar power. Meanwhile, Destry, a French ready-to-wear and accessories brand, has Beyonce, Gisele Bündchen, Rihanna, Jessica Alba, Reese Witherspoon, and others as investors. So what's cool to me is that this brand has all female funding for this first round. So that's cool. Speaking of Beyonce, she's just invested in a new hydration company called Lemon Perfect. Okay. So I've never seen it, but apparently Beyonce invested a sizable amount, as did Beechwood Capital, Trousdale Ventures, and NNS Capital. Tons of celebs are investing in crypto startup MoonPay. Have you seen this? Including Justin Bieber, Snoop, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Ashton Kutcher. So the company allows users to buy cryptocurrency. This is so cool. Through conventional payment methods like bank transfers, credit cards, and mobile wallets like Google Pay. Don't look at me like that. Or them. So I always look at what my kids are eating, drinking, wearing, playing, etc. And it really helps me know where the market may be heading. Like I was way ahead on Crocs, and I still brag to my husband about that now. But maybe I should be trying to figure out how my favorite celebs are investing instead. What do you think, Craig?
That's a difficult one. Okay, so
Do you
where
like
are they?
moon pie?
Where moon pie?
It's different.
Oh,
It's not
I don't know.
chocolate.
I'm not going to Google that either. You know, I Googled Dave Mathews, but then the
Okay.
first 10 pages were all like crash into me and stuff.
Yes,
So I mean, it
that's
came
my
back down to
favorite.
it, right? So, where first off, most celebrities probably aren't investing. They have a financial advisor because they're not celebrities because they're financially astute or anything like that. So let's just say it would be great to know where some of the richest people put their money at. Now, to say, hey, I'm going to invest in this because Beyonce is, owns a little bit a part of it and she's doing that, that is a big issue. Now, Beyonce, whether or not, I'm not going to say anybody else's name, okay? Beyonce, I'm not saying you do this.
You better watch yourself because the bees,
don't come after
the
me,
beehive
girl.
will come
Nope.
after you.
Between
All right,
me.
You do
and
not
I'm
want
not
it.
going to say any other famous people's names here.
Okay.
But you need to watch out. First off, it's one of the, before I was in finance, my first master's was in ethics, fallacies, and everything like that. I've written so many papers on that crap. So you have the appeal.
Stupid ethics
crap. So when you look at fallacies, one of the largest ones that you see today is going to be the appeal to authority. One of the versions of that's going to be celebrity. So appeal to a celebrity. Just because a celebrity does this, it must be great. I believe it. So you've seen this in NFTs and cryptos of all these celebrities backing those in the beginning, and everybody hops in them, and they just go to crash. They make all this money. And it's happened with other things in the past too. Like I said, I'm not going to name any names, but you don't have to.
You already said Beyonce.
You ain't got to use that Google real quick. And Beyonce, I don't know any that Beyonce's done in, so I got you, girl. But everybody else, you know who you are, the celebrities that do it. And basically, they're getting paid. They're getting a percentage of the company, and then they say, hey, yeah, I'm vested in this and do this. No, you just got
Just
it
using
for
your
free,
name.
and now
Yeah.
using it for free.
Yeah.
So you got to watch out for that.
Oh,
So you
that's a
need
good
to know
point.
what the difference in between is what they're investing in and what they just have a percentage in. Did they
Okay.
put real money into this, or did they not? Oh, Dave might be calling out some names.
Well, look at this. 50 Cent, he became one of the world's wealthiest
I
rappers.
did not say that.
Because
Vitamin
of his
water.
investment in vitamin water.
Yes,
Yeah, Georgia gets
absolutely.
it. So It's a well-known fact that former G-Unit head amassed millions. They say he made around $100 million because he had a minority stake in Vitamin Water. And he actually had his Formula 50, which was his grape drink that he created. And when they sold to Coca-Cola for like $4 billion, he had a nice $100 million payout.
That's a nice.
Look at Beats
so
by
that's a little
Dre.
different. Did he put money into it, or did he just get a percentage to
I think
actually
it was a
vote?
marketing percentage.
Right, so
from the shop.
those are the ones you really got to look at. Vitamin Water was one of the first little vitamin waters. You want to know what hydrates you? You really want to know what hydrates you? Water. H2O.
Wait,
Adam
can I get on that?
Financial
Sandler
advice.
Can I get on
told you
that?
it.
I know. Let's
H2O.
invest right now and
You know,
invest.
You know, water sucks. It
Let's
really,
just-
really sucks.
let's
No,
just get all
water
of
and
the
so
bottles
if you
that
want to
he's
know
water.
what really, hydrates you, drink some effing water. Hey, 99% water. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, go buy Beyonce stuff. I'm pretty sure it's good. But you got the Buble water. You see
Yes.
him into that. Did he put his money into that, or how much did he get out of that? So as an investor, you have to understand the hype. For
Dave
me-
Mathews has wine.
Yeah,
Just
I'd
saying.
probably drink that. I grew up listening to Dave Mathews.
Hello.
Right.
I
So
made a lot of money on wine investments, and
Yeah.
that's not drinking from the
I
bottle.
just got back from Gatlinburg, and I have thousands of dollars of wines because we went wine testing, and every place. I mean, look. First off, you start getting tipsy, and you're like, "Well, how many bottles you want? Like 20?" And
Yeah,
then you
that's
don't
how they
realize
get
you got
you.
to carry it to the car. And I'm telling you, if they had people that just carried my wine back to my car,
They make
they
a
would have been
zillion
a fortune.
Yes.
Because I'm sitting here, mobily disabled, semi, and I'm sitting here trying to that's like a half a mile up the hill, man. Where's these little kids? My college kid's not with us. I only got the little one. He can't carry wine. He's too young.
Especially leaving the liquor store or the
Yeah.
winery with it. You can't
Yeah.
have a 12-year-old doing that.
It's awful. But yeah, so you got to watch out. Watch out for that. So the number one thing with celebrities and everything, if you're going to trade it, look at buying you buy it and then dump it really quick. Sell it when it gets up. So if it's running and you get
You're
out of
saying
it before
it has fickleness to it.
get out before real numbers start to come out. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can always get back in, but before let's just say celebrity is endorsing a product and it's just running, you're like, okay, I got it. Put it in, let it go, and then before they do
Pull
their
out.
first report,
Yeah, okay.
sell it because.
Well, that 50 Cent wanted the numbers of Vitamin Water to be held back. He didn't want them to know real sales numbers, so I think Greg's onto something.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Greg.
Hey, thank you so much, Greg. He is lead instructor at OptionsPlayers.com and in the studio with us today.
Yes, remember, if you've got questions, we are going to go down a little wormhole trying to answer them. And we'd love to hear from you. So you can email us your questions at www.optionsplayers.com, or you can hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street.
You can, of course, watch episodes of the show at the OptionsPlayers.com YouTube page or listen on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, make sure you subscribe and hit the alert button so you can get current trending info as soon as it drops. I'm Dave Mathews with 1T and that other guy they mentioned during the show. Who?
And I'm George Alfredas. We will see you next time on What's Next Wall Street.